Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is going out publicly stating that the age of free riding on America is over. He's talking to our European allies. He's saying, we don't rely on the Strait of Hormuz, so the Europeans, they could just they should be the ones to open it. It's their term. It's their time now. This is absolutely insane. I'm going to explain to you why. This is actually a massive red flag right now. Take a listen to this and let's talk about it.
It's also worth saying, this should not be America's fight alone. We barely use the Strait of Hormuz as a country. Our energy doesn't flow through there, and we have plenty of energy. Just look at the new global Congo line, headed to Texas. A beautiful picture. Europe and Asia have benefited from our protection for decades, but the time for free riding is over. America and the free world deserve allies who are capable, who are loyal, and who understand that being an ally is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. We are not counting on Europe, but they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and get in a boat.
Get in a boat. Get in a boat. You know what's so funny? Well, first off, I've said this before. Whenever he talks, why does he talk like this? And then he'll put in a movie quote. He tries to act he thinks he's famous in the way he speaks, and he'll toss in a movie quote. One time he told Iran, "I will find you and I will kill you," using the Liam Neeson quote from the movie Taken. So the way he talks is odd. But now I want to talk about the serious matter here. He's telling our European allies that the time for free riding is over. That right there is a massive red flag. I'll explain in a second. And then he says that they should just get on a boat and fix things because if they want the Strait of Hormuz open, which they do because they rely on it more than they should do it. Well, guess what? They are doing it. They are doing it. This is what they don't want to admit. Europe is doing it. Spain did it. That is why they focus on warming their relations with Iran so that way they could have passage through the Strait of Hormuz. That is why Germany's far-right party, mind you, leaders from Germany's far-right AfD party, the one that Elon Musk supports, the big pro-deportation one, remigration one, that party stated they should kick U.S. bases off of their soil because they would end up being able to have better relations with Iran, and having U.S. troops on their soil is a liability. So they're clearly putting their countries first because they recognize that they need that passage open, and you don't get that passage open through bombing it. You simply don't get that passage open through bombing it. So it is Spain first. It is Germany first. And to have actual diplomacy with Iran in order to get the strait open, that's the only way to do it. You don't need much to close a strait. You really don't. It's very difficult to stop it. When there's drones here and missiles there, it's very difficult to stop it. So thinking you could do it with military might and then getting mad at your allies because they don't want to go into a suicide mission that's not working out for anybody. The most stupid ally is the United States for having Israel, a welfare state, a parasitic welfare state, convincing us to go into this war. That is what useful idiots do. And Europeans don't want to be useful idiots like the American leadership was for Israel by getting dragged into this war. They don't want to get dragged into this war that was caused by a bunch of useless idiots. That is useful idiots. That is what caused us to go into this war. Now, here's the red flag that he said. He said that the age of American free riding is over. To me, when I hear that, it means that he's stating that American empire can't afford to provide for the world in the same way that it used to. The American empire is overextended. The American empire can't do things alone anymore. The American empire actually never did things alone. It relied on the world. It established a world order. It was an established world order, and now that established world order is fracturing. The world doesn't feel like it's as stable as it used to be because the American empire is flailing. We're flailing. This war with Iran, every single past war in the Middle East, I never said this is, I was also younger, but even when I look back at it, it doesn't seem like any of those wars were the wars that fractured the American empire. A lot of the EU allies were behind us in those wars. It never fractured the American empire the same way. This one's doing it. It is. It is doing it because this one is causing a shift in regional dynamics that really, really matter when it comes to the rich Gulf oil countries and how they're starting to recognize, wait a second, being allied with Israel is a liability. Being allied with America is a liability. It's not actually a security shield. So after this war ends, whatever the next day looks like, they're going to be reshifting their reshifting their stance on things. I follow Saudi analysts. Unfortunately, I follow the UAE analysts as well. I follow analysts from Qatar. I listen to what they're saying. It's important that we listen to what these people are saying. Anybody can do that, by the way, on X. They have the auto-translate feature now. I suggest you follow people from other countries, like high IQ people from other countries, political analysts, public officials from those countries. Maybe not public officials as much, but especially the analysts from those countries. I should have a huge list of them, actually. And listen to what they're saying in their language. And with the auto-translate, they'll tell you that there's regional, they're analyzing different strategies to move, and they're shifting away from the U.S. When he says we are done giving free rides, what he's saying is the empire can't afford to keep things going the way it's going. That's what he's actually saying. And now we're doing this blockade over a blockade with the Strait of Hormuz, thinking it's going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The best thing that we could do right now is leave and try to stabilize the region. Now, if Donald Trump really wanted to turn his whole presidency around, just miraculously, just God came down and whatever blackmail he had was just magically removed, and intelligence was imparted on him. You impose a Palestinian state on Israel. The region immediately stabilizes, and you de-radicalize Zionists that seek greater Israel. Now, a two-state solution, I feel very confident it's dead. It's dead. I think it's always been dead. I think we are in a one-state reality because there is no Palestinian Authority that controls the West Bank. Israel controls the West Bank, and the Palestinian Authority is nothing. It's useless. They can't do anything. Israel controls them. Okay, so there's a one-state reality. But regardless, let's set that aside. That's a conversation for a different day. You impose a Palestinian state on Israel. You enforce a real two-state solution. The entire region immediately, finally has peace, because then there is no fight for destabilizing countries. Why did all of these wars in the Middle East start? Because Operation Clean Break, which was predicated on destroying every country that supports Palestine. 7 countries: Libya, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Syria, Iran. Every single one of these countries that supported Palestine, flip them, take them out. And that's exactly what happened. Think about the millions of people that have died, the tens of millions of people that were affected, the trauma, the starvation, just everything that was caused because of Israel's existence, because of the refusal to allow Palestinians to have equal rights. What's happening in Palestine affects the entire and all of the Middle East, and affects the entire planet in every single way, but especially all of the Middle East and Africa, not just North Africa, and Sudan as well, just Africa, Somalia as well. It affects everything because all of the chaos that's happening, all of these Islamists, all of these scary Islamists, these psycho ISIS head choppers that are running around. Why are they running around? Where are they getting the weapons from? They're American weapons. ISIS is carrying American weapons, American and Israeli weapons. That is fact. I can pull up article after article showing you guys the destabilization that we cause by Israel, by Zionism taking full occupation of our government. That's where we're at now today. Let's see. Pete Hegseth also said the one institution that should win the Nobel Peace Prize every single year is the U.S. military. This is funny.
And when you fight a war the right way, the idea is on the other side you bring about peace. That is what we'd like to see the most. In fact, I once did a video about the one institution that should win the Nobel Peace Prize every single year is the United States military, because we are the guarantor of the safety and security, not just of our country, but of a lot of people in this world. Last question. Yes, sir.
Wow. And that is exactly why we had to, reshuffle our THAAD interceptors and THAAD radar systems from South Korea to the Middle East, because we were so busy fighting wars in the name of peace, right? It was all for peace. It was all in the name of peace. Let's see what here. I think this is the same clip that was from that previous Fox News one.
Through there. And we have plenty of energy. Just look at the new global Congo line. Hormuz much more than we do.
Yeah, same thing.
And might want-
We have plenty of energy. Look at the new Congo. He talks like he's getting recorded for a movie or something. I don't know why this guy talks like this. And then he'll say, he'll toss in random movie quotes all the time. I told you he did the Liam Neeson movie quote. There was another movie quote. What was it? You just start listening to the way he talks. And I mean, there was that he quoted a fake Bible verse from I can't remember which movie. He does things like this. Just wait, next week he's going to pull out a different movie quote, and he tries to come off all serious about it too. That's the weirdest part of this all. It's very, very odd, very odd. So that's it for this video, guys. If you found it interesting, I'd appreciate it if you just go ahead and click the subscribe button below and give it a thumbs up as well. If you want to support my channel, if you look in the description of this video, there's a tip section. I have my, my Zelle and my PayPal and everything else there. If you want to support independent journalism, you like this video, you want to support me, I'd appreciate it. Definitely check that out. Otherwise, guys, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys here in a bit in the next video. Take care and have a great day. Bye, everybody.